I was anticipating for spring break, and I was planning what to wear and what to bring. Because for the very first time, me and my boyfriend were going on a vacation. We were going on a Carnival cruise to Ensenada, Mexico. My hopes began to sink in as we stepped onto the cruise ship because the weather was terrible. The boat began to sway, and it was raining, and the currents were just going crazy. It was making our ship sway and move back and forth. And soon enough, the dancing shows were canceled because the ship was swaying too much. And due to the boat's current condition, we couldn't go outside, so we couldn't go out and enjoy our cruise because it was raining. And so, so far, it was turning out to be a dead-end vacation. And my medicine that I had for seasickness was drowsy, and they didn't have any other medicine on the cruise ship except for the drowsy seasick medicine. So I wasn't taking my seasick medicine, and I became sick during the day on the cruise ship. And so that night, we decided to go to bed early, hoping to feel better in the morning once the cruise, was in Mexico. It was still raining and storming when we woke up. Being that I had packed all sundresses and shorts, I was not prepared for the weather. And we got off the boat and we started walking around Mexico. And we ended up finding a spot to eat, and they had great margaritas, which inspired us to, keep walking around. There was a little drizzling, so it wasn't too bad. And then all of a sudden, after walking around into a couple stores, we noticed that the storm was coming near and we needed to find shelter because it began to start raining hard. And so we opened this door and we walk in and find ourselves in a tattoo shop. After chit-chatting a little bit with the lady behind the desk, I made a joke to my boyfriend saying, well, hey, we gotta be here for a while, why don't you get a tattoo? And he spontaneously decided to get one. So we're looking around and we see these two girls getting work done on the right-hand side, and they were talking to us, telling us that they are on our Carnival cruise ship as well, and they had made reservations to go to this tattoo place because they heard that it was so great, and they're about to have their own show in Mexico for their shop. So I found it very legit, and we saw the tattoo artist doing her tattoo, and we noticed he was doing a really good job. So my boyfriend decided to sit in a chair and get a tattoo. While he was in the chair getting a tattoo, a couple hours go by, and I noticed that the rain started to kick up a notch and it started to pour really hard. And then I was a little worried also because of time. We had to be at the cruise ship at a certain time. I believe it was 5 o'clock, and it was an hour and a half before 5 o'clock. So I was getting really worried that they weren't going to be done with the tattoo and that we weren't going to make it on the ship. And for the Carnival cruise, they say that they will leave you if you're not there on time. The boat will leave. So I look into my boyfriend's eyes and I give him the, okay, we gotta hurry up. And the tattoo artist said that all he had to do was a couple more shading areas. And so I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, half an hour goes by, and then an hour. And I'm like, we're gonna miss our cruise ship. We're 2 miles away from the ship, and he said that he needs 10 more minutes to do on his arm. And I'm like, we're not gonna make it. We have to walk back to the ship. I don't know what we're gonna do. And so once he was finished, they wrapped his arm up and they gave him a plastic bag so his arm wouldn't get wet because it was raining. And then the lady picked up her keys and said, come with me. I was really nervous because we don't know this lady. She was a stranger. She was in Mexico. It's a tattoo shop. And me and my boyfriend were like, well, we got no other idea right now. We've got to make the cruise ship. We had about 20 minutes. And the lady decides to bring the other girls that were there getting their tattoos done in her car as well. And it's pouring rain, and we all jump in this beat-up truck. We don't even know this lady, and she's driving, and we end up hitting every red light on the way there, and I start to get really nervous. And then all of a sudden, when she pulls up to the side of the road where we can see the cruise ship, the security guards wouldn't let her pass that area. So we literally jumped out of the truck, and me and my boyfriend started to run in the rain towards the cruise ship. I'm soaking wet, I'm in a sundress wearing sandals, and my boyfriend has a bag on his arm, and we're sprinting as fast as we can. It's about a half mile to the cruise ship, and I stop, and I'm like out of breath, it's pouring, I'm cold, I'm like, I'm not gonna make it, and my boyfriend looks at his watch and says, we got 2 minutes, come on. So we start running again, and we finally get to another security checkpoint. I pull out my purse, I open it real fast, close it, start jogging towards the cruise ship, jump onto the cruise, and then all of a sudden the doors slam behind us. We were the last people on board. We made it just in time. We're sitting there drenched, and then all of a sudden we look at each other and just start laughing. Because it was probably the best time we had on the ship so far. Everything was a dud in the beginning, and then this spontaneous adventure happened, which definitely made the vacation. I have learned a couple things with this adventure. Number one, don't be judgmental. The lady at the tattoo shop, we were a little nervous. We judged her, and she ended up being so friendly and generous to us and driving us as far as she could to our cruise line. And the second thing is to always see the half glass full. In the beginning, this vacation was a dud, and you just can't plan fun out. You just gotta let it happen. And number three, basically, the best times that you can have are the spontaneous times. And you can't always plan out fun like I did. And yeah, that's my story.